What's up guys, in this video we will see how you can host a static site using NginX. Again, we're not going to use any VPS for this specific demonstration, and I will teach you how you can learn these server-side things like hosting a site using NginX, or basically learning about NginX, not actually by using a VPS, right? Because usually you have seen my videos that I use VPS, I set up subdomains, right, which is kind of complicated, and there can be many cases where you might not even have a virtual machine. Okay, you might not even have a domain. So what should you do if you want to learn NginX? Let's talk about that. So I'm going to first of all open up a terminal, and this is the place where I'm going to work all the time. So yeah, perfect. So I'm inside my home directory. Let's quickly go to the YouTube, and I'm going to create a directory called NginX. So I will teach you how to host a super static site, and in a really nice manner, and you will definitely learn a lot about NginX. Okay, so let's see. First of all, let me show you one thing. So first thing, if you want to learn more about NginX, you can read the main page of it. It's not that documented. Again, they're just explaining about the different arguments that it takes. They're also explaining about certain files that are necessary, and yeah, you guys can see that this is actually the default NginX file that your computer has, and we don't need to edit it. But in some cases you might have seen something like if somebody is hosting site on Docker using Docker, then at that stage they directly change the default config, which is fine because that is just a small container, right? But usually when you have a virtual machine and you're hosting multiple sites, we don't change that configuration. We create the configurations in the sites-available directory and then symlink it in the sites-enable directory. Perfect. So let's see. So you guys can use the -v flag to get the option, the version of NginX. Now if you use the $T flag, this is going to dump the configuration of the NginX. Let me show you what I mean. So if I do NginX -T, okay, I'm getting this. But if I do sudo here and provide my password, so you will see test site failed, no such file directory. Okay, I just I need to remove this because I was trying out something, and it is still there. So I will just do remove. Okay, now if I do this, you will see that it is basically dumping the configuration of your NginX file, right? And one thing that I will show you here is it is basically going to provide all of the configuration. Even if you have some configuration in your site's enable directory, you can see it is giving me the list, like configuration file and then the path, right? So first of all, let's see. You might have seen, if you're watching my previous videos, that you must know that I use subdomains, right? So how you can make a sort of domain, I mean, even if it is locally or something, but you should be able to handle it, right? So in order to do it, we're going to edit a file called etc host. Okay, this file, when you open this file, it can be different in your case, but I think the first line, which is this, it should be same. Yeah, it should be like almost same in your case. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new local domain here. So I'm going to provide 127.0.4.1, and you can provide, like, you can change these values, tweak it a bit if you want to. It's not going to do anything. So now what we want is to add a tab here, and now here you need to specify the name. Okay, so let's call it YT NginX, okay, because it is for YouTube and we're learning NginX, so I can do this. Oh, so this file is read only because it is in the etc and etc directory, so I am not going to be able to directly write it. So I am going to use the Q exclamation mark and run it as a sudo again, and there you need to provide your password, and then again you need to do the same thing. So I'm going to yank it and paste it here, and now I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say I want to be able to do this, and then so now we're going to go over here and say YT NginX. Okay, perfect. So now you have a domain. Now let me show you a cool thing. Now if you do curl http:// and then if you provide that domain that you just created, so that was NginX, you will get a HTML file that is being rendered. Let me show you in the browser what it is. So if I open my Brave browser, so and if we go to this site, http:// not s, because we're not using SSL certificates. So here I can directly provide that specific domain, right? So which was NginX. If I go here, you can see they're listing the Apache default NginX page. Why? Because I have installed the Apache as well. That is the problem. But you should have NginX installed. Oh, I actually forgot to tell you to install NginX, so you can quickly do it just by doing sudo apt install NginX. Okay, it is going to install NginX. Perfect. And you can check the status by doing systemctl and status and nginx.service. So you will see a information about the NginX service here. It is taking up a while. Wait a second. Why it is taking up a time? Like, why it is taking so much time? Okay, now you guys can see that it is active and it is running, right? So make sure it is active. If it is not active in any case, okay, then what you can do sudo systemctl, and over here you can do enable. So enable will enable the service, and you can use the -- now flag to start the service as well. Okay, otherwise you need to type the another command, which is sudo systemctl start and then this. Okay, perfect. Once your NginX thing is running, then you can follow. Okay, so we are done. Now here what I'm going to do is I will create a configuration file. So I'm going to call the file as ytnginx.conf. okay, you can call it anything you want. Alright, so I am here. Now let me show you one more thing. Let me just save it. So if I open a new file here, so I will open the default Nginx configuration file, so which you can find at this location. So this is the default Nginx configuration file that comes out of the box, and it is the file which actually manages all of the configuration file in your sites-available and sites-enable directory. So let me show you a specific line here. So if I go over here and look for sites-enable, so you can see they're basically trying to include all of the files from this directory, right? And this is what we want, right? So this is the thing that you should note, right? So whatever you put in the sites-enable directory, they will try to include in the Nginx. And then when you restart your Nginx server, it should be visible if it is working fine, obviously then. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go to my ytnginx. Okay, I am here. So let's start. You need to start your configuration by doing server. And now this is the place where we are going to provide, first of all, the information about the server name. So server name is essentially the domain which you are targeting. In our case, we are trying to target the ytnginx, and it is local domain. Make sure to add the semicolon after that, and then you can listen for a specific port. So you can do listen, and which port you want to listen on. So we want to listen on port 80. Okay, now we need to do location. So location is basically we are targeting different aspects of the URL string, right? So whenever you go to a website, so the home URL is this, so we are targeting the home URL. So whatever you're typing, okay, so it should handle all of this. Okay, so if you want to target a specific thing, I will show you in a while how to do it. But now here what you can do is so you can actually provide here the root, and now this root is going to be the root from where it can access the static file. So what I'm going to do is provide a path here, so home/vivekascoder and /YouTube and /nginx. So this is essentially that path, right? The same folder. And then I'm going to provide the index as well. So index is basically representing the file that you want to serve. So you want to serve index.html, right? So whenever, so we are basically, our web server is going to listen for this specific domain at this specific port, and whenever you got any location like this, we are going to set the root here, and then we're going to provide the index like this. All right, so we're going to basically save it. Now I will show you a quick a little thing that you can do. Instead of directly copying this file into the sites available directory, what you can do is directly create a symlink between this file and directly to the enabled directory. Why? Let me show you why. So if you go to the default configuration of NginX file, they are not doing anything with the sites-available directory. So you will not be able to find this term. Okay, so you can see pattern not found. So this is one thing. So that's why we can actually directly provide the symlink. So let's do that. So once this thing is done, now if I do ls, you will see that we have one file. I'm going to create one more file, which is going to be index.html, and this is essentially the file that we want to serve. Let's write a simple HTML. So we're going to say welcome to YT NginX, right? And /h1. Okay, and then I'm also going to provide a link. Obviously this is optional, you can go ahead and skip it. And videos. Okay, here I'm going to provide my YouTube link. So https://youtube.com/c/vivekascoder. Okay, perfect. So we have this file. Now let's try to create the symlink. Okay, so this is our NginX configuration file, and we want to enable it, right? Because if I still open that file, that domain, which is YT NginX, you will see we are still getting the Apache default page, right? But we want to be able to serve this. Let's see how to do it. So we're going to do sudo, and then we're going to do ln-s, and now I'm going to specify this site. So /home/vivekascoder and /yt/nginx, and then /ytnginx.conf. Okay, and then we're going to provide the symlink path, so which is etc nginx/sites-enabled. Okay, and inside the enabled we're going to create a file called yt-nginx. Perfect. Now we're going to do is sudo nginx, and then we're going to say, wait a second. So we created the symlink. Now I just need to restart the NginX server. So I can do sudo systemctl restart nginx.service. Once your nginx service is restarted, right? So let me show you what will happen. If I reload this page, now you can see the magic, right? Instead of going forward and serving the default Apache files which are present in some sort of directory, now we are actually serving our static file from our desired directory, right? At the same time, another thing you should note is we are not using the path called sites-available. We are directly putting our configuration file in wherever I want, and then I am directly creating the symlink to the enabled directory. Perfect. So you can see I can click on this video and it should redirect to my channel. Perfect. Okay, this is what I want. So yeah, this is how you can create or basically learn about NginX. Now one thing to keep in mind is you cannot generate SSL certificate for these local sites. If I misspelled somewhere in the video, just make sure that you cannot use the certbot for local sites. So you will not be able to generate certificates for your local sites. So this is something to keep in mind. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you found it helpful, smash that like button, and I will see you next time.